Let's go.
Okay, welcome back to another video, fam. Listen to me and listen very closely. This is episode 4 of my reviews, and we are reviewing Kadas, The Prophecy. I have just finished watching this movie due to a vote that I took, and I honestly have to say, I'm going to just skip right to it. I'm not happy. I am not happy with this movie. And I'm sorry for the Kadas fans out there. And I know there are some fans out there. I'm about to tear this movie apart. And I'm going to explain why. There is logic to this, okay? So, there will be spoilers. I'm just going to go right into it. But oddly enough, not much to spoil. This is a great example of an anime film that is style with no substance. And I can make exceptions. I can make exceptions to it. And I've watched plenty of them that I enjoy. This one is not one of those. Right off the bat, when it starts off hard and heavy. Like you're in the sky at night and it goes into like a jet fighter scene. And you got these two space age jets going at it back to forth, shooting on it. You don't have any dialogue. In the middle of the gunshots, the explosions spell out the credits of like the directors and whatnot, and then they transform into what is the best description I can have is CGI versions of Power Rangers. They're like Power Ranger samurais fighting in the sky, which that is my wheelhouse. That's my bread and butter. I love that stuff. They're going back and forth, fighting with swords, transforming back into jets, fighting with swords again, crashing down, and then they go into the city. And at moments, I'm thinking maybe they're just moving too fast, but then all of a sudden, time freezes, and you don't know if it's them freezing time or that they're just moving too quickly. But still, city gets destroyed. Still no dialogue. One of them gets critically injured, and then you start getting dialogue. Nothing explaining what's happening. Just saying, you thought you could beat me, but I'm winning every time. And that's your introduction to the main villain, Ika. And fun fact, in the dub version is played by Matthew Lillard, who I love as a performer. I like Matthew Lillard as a performer. Which, that surprised me because I did not recognize his voice until, like, the very end, and I'm watching the credits, and that stood out to me. Moving on, they go quick flash forward time jump 3 years into the future. The city still looks pretty much the same. Nothing's really going on, except for there's reports that people have died, and there's mysterious situations that may allude to why the people have died. And they started an investigative group, the intervention department within the police, which is not really looked at by anybody else. Everybody else just like thinks it's a joke. Basically, they're Mulder and Scully of the police department in Shinjuku City. You have one officer who's been doing it for a while who believes that it's demons. Another officer is like, why am I even chosen to be here? And everybody's like, I don't know why. There's no reason why you really belong here, but we needed a guy to go with this dude. And that's it. That's really it. And that's all they're there, not even to provide substance to the story. They're there just interject some scenes here and there. Personally, I could have done without them in the story at all. Then they introduce probably the most interesting character, who I really think is supposed to be the best star of the show, but the movie's not named after him. The character's name is Nue, who when you first introduced to him, seems like a bum. He's riding a train to get into Shinjuku in the most uncomfortable way possible. He's sleeping on the roof of the train in like the opposite direction of the way the train drives. Like he has the covers here and the wind is going down this way, which should blow the covers off, but fiction, I'll go with it. But you can tell he's special. He jumps off the train while it's moving, acts like nothing's happening, and there's moments where time freezes and he talks to the screen and the screen's like blinking, so you think he's talking to a character, which they never address. You never know who he's talking to. So after a while you forget about that, but not me. I have to remember these things. And then there's another, and then quickly you realize, oh, this guy might be a good guy because he's fighting a water demon that is killing girls in a men's bathroom. If you watch the movie, you'll understand. He fights a demon, saves one of the girls. Everybody else, not so much. But I like him. He has style. He comes in, he likes to talk a smack to the demon. Comes out, has these gold-plated pistols. Gives me a little bit Devil May Cry vibe. So I'm liking him. He dispatches the demon. Demon technically gets away, but whatever. And then you come to realize the name Karas belonged to the character that was defeated at the very beginning of the movie. Okay, so that was another character. And now we're focused on Nue. Nue sees another target. He's going to go after it. And then, boom, you have this new guy get summoned in. And apparently he's the new Karas. No idea why. No explanation. Just this guy who's like, we got to do what we got to do. He's working for this little platinum blonde haired girl with weird goggles that always change. Usually like one eye open, one eye closed, or like with a star eye and some weird things happening. And he always comes into the scene with this announcement. She's just counting from 1 to 10, and she's like sway forth, back and forth, or something like that. Now she's like, and Karas, do your thing. Not so many words. And his sole goal is to kill the demons. Now, mind you, this is literally how it's going. There's not much more explanation that's being done than what I'm giving you right now. The only other explanation that comes in is a little bit later. Turns out the demons he's killing, they're no longer technically demons. They were former demons that sided with Echo, and Echo turned them into machine monsters. And the only way they can maintain themselves is by feeding on the blood of humans, which by many myths and mythologies, not far from what actual demons do. But, you know, we'll go with it. And they call them Mikura. So that's what Karas is there for. He's like to bring order, and he's just there to dispense death to the Mikura and call it that. Nue, his job, he's chosen to also kill the Mikura, but try to save humans in the process. They don't interact. Next thing you see is a guy in a supercar, or I'm assuming it's a supercar. It looks like a Mustang or a muscle car of some kind, and he's trying to race down the tunnel. They see what looks to be a ghost car. They get attacked. His would-be girlfriend, or I'm gonna call her Thought, dies in the process because it turns out there's another phantom car in the tunnel, and he gets saved by Nue. At which point Nue gets injured by the Mikura, and you get a kind of a hint at what Nue is, because now he's injured and he meets this little demon boy child. It's like a little snail demon with a raincoat. It's actually pretty cute, and you realize Nue is the Mikura as well. Don't know why, but he is, because apparently they had to defect, become Mikura. But obviously he doesn't like being what he is. He doesn't tap into his abilities. He doesn't do anything of that nature. We'll fast forward a little bit more on this. More people die. More Mikura dies by Karas and Nue's hand. And what would be Nue seeming like a really good character just gets more and more injured in the process. Karas only has about like 5 good lines to him. Echo doesn't really voice anything other than the fact he wants Nue alive, and he knows the one true way how to kill Karas. And they are going to implement a plan. So they attack a hospital, lure out Karas. Nue's out of commission because he's hurt and, you know, needing some red juice, but he doesn't want to take it. And the little demon boy, or snail boy, I'm going to call him, snail boy, it's like, I got you covered. And he's like, don't you dare hurt anybody. And he's like, no. The humans got something that we can handle there. Snail boy goes to the nearest hospital to try to steal some blood. And he's so nice. He's so sweet. And in the process, he realizes, oh, the Mikura are here attacking the hospital. And he's like, why? And as he's trying to escape, he sees the reason why. The new Karas, his physical body, apparently, is comatose in the hospital. I know, right? Left field. No one saw that coming, because you don't know that this guy, you know, they're taking the spirit out of a human host. You just know a new Karas just popped up. But now you know. And little boy is like still wanting, snail boy wants to get the blood back to Nue, but he can't, because now he's trapped. Because Karas comes in trying to stop this monster, destroys the entire hospital. While this is all happening, the one silver-haired weird girl who summoned Karas in the first place, whose name is Yurahine, is captured herself. So the only thing I gathered from watching this at this point was there's probably 2 ways to kill Karas. You probably kill his original body, which is on life support, or you kill Yurahine, because she seems to be always there watching, kind of like the Crow. For those of you who remember Brandon Lee, the Crow, you don't go after Brandon Lee, you go after the bird. That's the source of the power. Yurahine, from what I can gather, again, nothing given to me, it's all visual action, barely any dialogue. I have to put these pieces together. Yurahine is the source of his power. So she gets captured, and like his power gets dwindled out. When you think the Mikura is gonna win, the original body that Karas came from wakes up, grabs the sword, because again, Karas carries a sword, and slices the demon. Cool. So our hero has woken up in his original body carrying a magic sword, and now we have like potentially more drama that's going to happen. Before it was just like you have senseless action, somewhat plot. The plot's now thickening, and let's get into this. And at that moment, credits. This movie is called The Prophecy. At no point was there ever any dialogue of a prophecy moment, discussion, or anything. You don't get no to be continued. You don't get to watch part 2. Nothing. Just goes into credits. This movie came out in 2005 for the Japanese market. It came out 2006 for the US market. I am pissed. Now I know there's another movie, Kata's Revelation, which I am hoping is a sequel, and then this might be like one of those Kill Bill moments where it might actually be better when you watch both of them in succession. But if not, I don't know what I'll do, man. I really don't know what I'll do. All I know is that as of right now, this movie is gonna get a 2 out of 5 nerd tots. And this is being generous. I don't outright hate the movie. It pissed me off, I'm not gonna lie, because of the way it ended. But I am not gonna say I hate the movie. Again, it's style versus substance. Got a lot of action. It does dabble into using CGI heavily for the character design and for the placement of the city. And once you get used to it for a little bit, it actually looks really good. And it does go into a lot of rapid action scenes and a lot of fast moments. That's okay in the sense that if I want to put on something that I'm running in the background and I just want to have something playing and I just, visually entertained, I can enjoy that. And you know what? I will sacrifice the story if I'm just gonna not really pay attention to the film, but I will have something on so I can be entertained in the backest recess of my mind. It did not have me hating it throughout the film. So I'm not going to give it a 1. I'm going to give it a 2. Now I do plan to watch Revelation, Kata's Revelation. I wasn't planning on doing it originally, but because I've watched this and it ended the way it did, I will make that leap and jump in to watch the next one. Now I am hoping to all that is that this is one of those movies that you need to watch the sequel and put the two together to actually have a full film, and I can have a better review out. On that, if you want to watch it, go right ahead. Don't give it much expectation for the plot. Really don't. If you want to watch, action with, pretty graphics and a story that doesn't make sense right now, go right ahead. It's on you. But I digress. On that note, this has been episode 4 of my anime reviews. Thank you all who have been watching with me. Make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe, put something in the comments, because I want to see your feedback. I really do. I want to see what's your opinions, how am I doing, and also give me some suggestions. I'm going to be putting out more posts about getting your suggestions so I can get that feedback, because I want to see what you guys are looking into. But other than that, continue watching anime, expand your minds, and I'll see you on the next one.
Let's go.